Welcome in, everybody. It is Tuesday night, which means one thing and one thing only on the Going for Two network. It is time for the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. But before we get into the cast and the crew, you know I got to do one thing. Let's hit that button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, welcome to the Fantasy Cheat Sheet presented by Going for Two Live. It is time for the Week 9 episode, the episode after tight end day on Sunday. Let's just get straight into the cast and the crew. Jamie, what is up, my dude?
Not much. I don't know about you guys, but I had a great weekend for fantasy. I won 27 of my 35 matchups. That's awesome considering all the bye weeks, and I can't get any better than that.
I'm not going to say that I won as many matchups as Jamie did. Definitely had more L's on my docket, but some teams surprised me. So overall, I'm happy with the results considering like I had a lot of people on bye like everyone else did. So we're working through it. I'm ready to talk some football tonight.
I mean, y'all are gloating about your wins, and I once again just had a horrendous week. And honestly, even the wins I picked up are the leagues I care just a little bit less about. The ones where the wins are not near as crucial, like a tanking team, getting a Fugazi win here. I'm happy week 8 is behind us, and I am, let's call it re-energized heading into week 9.
So I'm not going to get into any, oh my God, I won a bunch, or I got one league I need to complain about. I lost by 12. Okay, but here's the problem. It was a quarterback situation. I started Spencer Rattler, and some guy on Sunday morning told me I should start Spencer Rattler over Tua. Does anyone want to take a guess who that person was?
Was he on the Sunday show?
Because he might be right above Jordan.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm just giving you shit. Because I don't blame you. Because when I saw his puffy eye, I didn't know what to expect either.
Yeah, I didn't expect 4 touchdowns out of Tua. I don't think anyone did.
No. And let's just get straight into the show. We are going to get into the big piece of news, and I don't think any of us were expecting to have to bring this up, because I sure wasn't, because I thought this guy was a battering ram all season. New York Giants running back Cam, the Scataboom, the battering ram, whatever nickname you want to give him, Scataboo, dislocated ankle, obviously out for the year. I'm just going to leave the floor open, Jamie.
Oh, so I think he'll be ready next week. He's a freaking dog. He's going to wheel in that line and just bust right through it for multiple touchdowns. But no, for real. Oh, man, that was so tough. I didn't even want to watch. I saw it once, and people kept trying to show me pictures, and I don't want to see that. But I do expect him to make a full recovery by training camp next year. It starts in July, I believe, so that's right around that timeline. And usually like 6 to 9 months, if that rehab does go smoothly, he's going to have to work on that strength, mobility, stability. And if he regains all that with no setbacks, I think he's going to come back strong next year.
Yeah,
I agree, man. Gruesome injury. You don't want that for anybody. The way he runs and plays, I thought he would get hurt, but just not like that.
No.
I was ready to pick up Tyrone Tracy just to have him because I knew that eventually he would get hurt in some form. In fact, I didn't expect this though, but I hope he makes a full recovery. Expecting him to at this point. He's a young guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him out there next year.
All right, so Raul, obviously, Jordan brought it up. Tyrone Tracy is going to be the starter. Are you looking to grab Singletary at all? And then you can expand on your thoughts.
Yeah, Singletary is a really good call there, Mike. As someone that certainly in dynasty leagues will be much more readily available than Tracy, who I'd imagine be rostered. Yeah. Tracy certainly is the priority, but Singletary, veteran, like very consistent player. I don't think it's too clear that Tracy is going to be the guy at the goal line. He certainly was the guy who took over from Scadaboo, but Singletary could be a sharp play. And Tracy's already been banged up this year, so deeper leagues certainly worth the roster. Dynasty leagues, that's where I'd be looking to. I think Singletary will be the one available. Get him. And Scadaboo, man, just really such a tragically gruesome injury. Just like very hard watching. Like the reactions of all the Giants players, especially Jackson Dart. And man, I do hope he makes that full recovery for 2026, but it's a similar injury to what Chris Godwin suffered. And we've seen Godwin certainly, much older than Cam Scadaboo, but Godwin struggled to get back on the field this year. So I'm a little pessimistic about even him like hitting the ground running next year. It really just is a tough injury for Cam, for Giants fans, for certainly for fantasy managers who are relying on him. And prayers up that he makes a full recovery.
I mean, in the last 3 weeks, we've had two. I mean, one is not a fantasy relevant player, but I'll still bring him up because he's a stud. We've had two players, him and Fred Warner, in the past 3 weeks to get dislocated ankles. But like you brought up, I was going to bring up Jackson Dart, but I don't really need to because you brought him up just in the sense that how distraught he was. Obviously, his Caucasian homie on the team in the backfield. We know, I mean, those guys are like battering rams.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart will run through a wall. Scadaboo obviously will run through a wall. Okay. There's one person in this discussion that I want to bring up. And yes, I am kind of joking around. Not joking, but I'm not full seriousness about this. Security guard Dom has gotten a lot of heat in the past. But did you guys see what security guard Dom in Philly did this week with Cam being hurt in the hospital? He brought him a Philly cheesesteak and a Philadelphia pizza while he was waiting to have surgery. I will give him credit for that. Cam needed his cheesesteak.
That's surely what the doctors recommend right when you're about to undergo intensive surgery is load yourself up with a greasy old cheesesteak. But that was a great story, Mike. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't thinking it was going to be Dom. I mean, I'm surprised you can get fined for Goodell for accidentally going into the hospital or, some stupid thing. All right, let's get into that's really it for the big news. A trade that I will bring up really quick just because I want to bring something up about it. New England traded, I can never think of his name, not the safety one. I'll bring that up. They traded a lineman to the 49ers this afternoon. Directly a defensive lineman. Right after that, they traded Kyle Duggar to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have had a couple New England Patriots fans at work, a new Patriots fan at work ask me, does this mean they are clearing money to do something bigger at the deadline? Yes, no, and if so, what? Jamie.
I'm just going to stop predicting stuff like that because every time I say something, I get it completely wrong. So let's move on to the next guy.
Jordan.
Yeah, I don't see the Patriots. And like Jamie said, it's hard to predict, but
yeah,
the Patriots just don't really make splash moves like that. I don't find. And now
do the Vrabel Patriots do
coaching staff, but I'm not. I'm gonna say no, but I'm not 100% sure.
Raul.
No, nothing new to add. I mean, free AJ Brown, that would be cool, but yeah, it's tough to predict that.
All right, I am going to be the conspiracy theorist here. Because I don't know if I truly believe what I'm about to say, but with the way they're using players this year, I never know. Did they go get a running back?
Oh,
don't do this.
I don't want them to. But, I mean, if any team that's going to do it that doesn't need one, because they have one in their stable from Jamie's home state that they need to use and they need to use now, and they're still not using, I'm just saying. All right, so it is time for Monday Night Football takeaways. I am proud to say that my Kansas City Chiefs against the Washington Commanders, 28-7. Jamie, you want to talk about a receiver on my team? Take it away, senor.
Yeah, I want to talk about Rashee Rice because, he's back finally. The Chiefs' offense looks good again. He missed the first 6 weeks because of that suspension. So he came back last week, and they kept him on a snap count. I think he was at like a 45% snap, but he was playing like 40%, and then some 50% garbage time snaps. But he was targeted on over half of those routes that he ran. Half of those routes. So that's a roll. That's the Mahomes guy right there. And he was a top 10 wide receiver that week. And then fast forward to Monday night. No more restrictions. He is back fully. Rice was out there for about 80% of the team's snaps. So right there, that was early season last year when he was playing. That was what he was getting last year. 80%. I think he only had 2 games, and that was the Super Bowl and one of the AFC games that he had more than 80%.
Yeah.
So he looked legit. 9 for 93. He had a touchdown. He had 2 rushes for 12 yards. That's awesome. So he honestly, did you watch the game? You did, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Did you see he could have scored in that game a couple times, right?
Twice, yeah.
Yeah,
twice. Yes. So bottom line, Rashee Rice is back. He's Mahomes' number 1 target. He's a locked in, must start every week. Don't overthink it. He's legit.
All right. Any quick thoughts about Rashee Rice?
No, he's a stud. Slap him in your lineup. Don't worry about it every week.
Yep. Go trade for him.
The only thing I want to say about Rashee Rice before I throw it to you, Jordan, is tell me if I'm wrong. This might just me being a Chiefs fan. This might be a little bit jaded. They're using, I'm not saying like they're still using all of them, but I would have thought it would be a different wide receiver getting the rushing than him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of surprising that it is him and not Worthy or even Hollywood. I mean, if you told me what wide receiver they're going to use as in the rushing attack, he'd probably be my third guess.
Yes.
All right, Jordan, take it away.
This game, as horrible as the Commanders looked on offense, I am not putting any stock in this for the weapons. Mariota, obviously, as we saw, was the quarterback. So we're expecting Jaden Daniels to be back soon. He's supposed to practice tomorrow, so that may be a good thing for them heading into Monday night against the Seahawks. So, getting McLaurin back was big for them. Caught him a touchdown. Getting Debo back after a week, he didn't do much, but the passing game struggled for most of the night. Chiefs are a good defense, so the rushing, they couldn't do anything to run the ball. So it was just they were up against a team that was way better than them without their starting quarterback. So I'm not ready to get rid of any other weapons. I'm not ready to do anything yet. I want to see this team fully healthy with their stud quarterback, and then we could kind of evaluate moving forward from there. I wouldn't overreact to this game for any other Commanders weapons.
Yeah, Roll, do you have anything you want to bring up about this before you roll into yours?
Yeah, the only interesting thing is, and it's hard to draw conclusions from a game like this with a quarterback that we hope doesn't play any other games this year, but we did see the return of Terry McLaurin to the field, and he certainly was not only the primary target, but the target of the explosive plays. Great touchdown catch, phenomenal catch on the sideline as well, and then left the game for a bit. I think re-aggravated his quad is what they were saying on the broadcast. So the only thing to see, and I don't think it's answered, yeah, you could take a box score conclusion, but how does that wide receiver room, kind of play out in the coming years, or weeks, years, who knows, but weeks. Certainly with Debo's explosive start, one game came right at the start when Terry was there, and then a lot of the other games came without Terry. So that's the only thing I'm looking for, but I think like Jordan said, I wouldn't use this game as the one to give you the conclusive answer. My takeaway from the Monday night game, and this might be a little bit of a cheat of the cheat of the week, which is the waivers, of course. But Kareem Hunt, who of course had a 2-touchdown performance last night on Monday Night Football. That's his second game this year with 2 touchdowns. Certainly got a lot of those goal line work. Does he fall right into RB2 range with Isaiah Pacheco, strained MCL? Honestly, thank God it wasn't a worse injury. It was a really nasty hit and would have been very unfortunate for a guy whose 7th-round pick career been torn up by those injuries. But looks like Pacheco is going to be week to week. I think Kareem Hunt is a rock solid starter while Isaiah Pacheco is out. And I saw all these memes about, hey, Rashard Smith, 10-yard rush, Twitter goes wild. Kareem Hunt, 2 touchdowns, not a thing on Twitter. And it really might be the guy they trust a lot. And though he's not, doesn't have that explosiveness of a young Kareem Hunt, this guy is phenomenal in short yardage. He's one of the best short yardage backs in the league this year. The Chiefs' ability to convert on 3rd and short has been boosted significantly by Kareem Hunt's presence. I think he will maintain pretty high volume role. He had numerous games with like 20 plus touches when Pacheco was out in 2024. He can catch the ball. And I think he's going to be in our lineups if Pacheco is indeed ruled out for next week and the weeks beyond that.
Yeah, for sure. Jamie, do you have any thoughts about Hunt and Pacheco?
I just think they're going to work more Rashard Smith in with that Jarrett McKinnick role. They're actually going to have a chance to game plan him in more now, so that could take away going forward for Kareem Hunt.
Alrighty. So here's my takeaway. I'm just going to go generalization on something with this team. And yes, I am talking about my team. Jamie went with Rashee Rice. So Jamie, everything you said about Rashee Rice is absolutely true. He had 26.5% target share last night. But here's the key. I think it's the rest of the wide receivers and tight ends with the target share situation that I find interesting, because you have Worthy and Travis Kelce both had 20.6% target share last night. The week before that with Rashee Rice, yes, it was limited in the sense of with the Raiders, they got the game blown out quick and they only needed to play Mahomes for 3 quarters. But in week 7, Worthy was at 11%. Travis Kelce was only at 8%. Before that, Kelsey's was 10%, 20, 16, 13, 19, 23. Okay. Worthy was at, when he came back in week 4, 21, 22, 13, 11 last week, and now 20%. Okay. I'm going to say something that I don't think I've said on the show yet. In my heart of hearts, I truly do believe this is Mr. Travis Kelce's last season in the NFL, win or lose. I think if they would have won the Super Bowl last year, I do believe he would have retired. Jamie, can you guess why I'm bringing that up right now?
The backup tight end, maybe?
Absolutely. You're right on track, sir. Because Noah Gray last night had 11.8% target share. His stat line last night was he only had 2 catches, 23 yards. But here's the thing. He can get more. He's 26 years old. He's been in the league for a few years. They also have Noah Wiley, who hasn't played much. I do believe that Noah Gray can step into the role with the way they play. I do think that. I'm not saying he's going to be no Travis Kelce top guy in the league, top 3 in the league. But the way this offense works, I think they will be able to plug him in and be, low end tight end in fantasy. But for NFL, I think they're getting Wiley last year, I think was a sign that the team knew something was up. Jordan, any thoughts?
No, I think you said it. I wonder about Kelsey's last year, and so Noah Gray does look fast when he does get the ball, a little faster than Kelsey, except for That Kelsey shocked me with that run he had, but yeah,
I think I was hoping he was going to cut left.
yeah.
I think he went to like plant and then went.
Oh, yeah.
He went. Oh no, I'm not. I don't have the speed like I used to.
He was moving that was the fastest I'd seen him run in a long time.
Oh, for a very long time. And then I was waiting for them to bring out the oxygen tank. All right, it is time for real or fake. And it is weird that Jamie has this player on real, not because of the player, but because of the helmet. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so my reel is Jerry Jeudy. He literally pulled a full-on Houdini in Week 8 against the Patriots. 0 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 fantasy points. And why am I calling that reel? Dude, he was literally a complete ghost. Like, Browns got smacked 30-7. And Jeudy might as well have just been in the locker room still. And here's the thing. I wish I could say that this was some kind of a weird fluke or outlier, but no. This is Jerry Jeudy. This is who he's been all season and honestly his whole career. Like, he came into the league. He was profiled with like a smooth, polished route runner. Never really consistently ever lived up to that hype. Every year, it's the same freaking story. Bad quarterback play, injuries, excuses, the drops, the inconsistency. It's all baked into the Jerry Jeudy experience his whole career. So, yeah, Week 8 wasn't a fluke. That's just Jerry Jeudy being Jerry Jeudy. So, unless your lineup is on life support right now, I would just get rid of him, cut ties, drop him.
Jordan.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm just looking at his numbers. He had 3.7 last week. He's only scored in double figures once, and that was in week 1. Dylan Gabriel's the quarterback. The offense is atrocious. If you're not a tight end, good luck for the passing game. So, I agree. In redraft, definitely drop him. There's no value moving forward. Unless maybe Shador comes in, I'm not sure. But the Jerry Jeudy experience, it has been marred by bad quarterback play. And when he's had a semblance of decent quarterback play, like at the end of last year, Jameis was throwing it around. He had some games where you could say, okay, that's the guy that I would like to see him with first of all, a consistent and reliable organization, and then a quarterback who can be the same. And I think then I can get my final verdict on him. But as far as him being on the Browns in this quarterback situation, I don't want no parts of any receiver really on that team unless they're getting a different quarterback.
All right, Jamie. When I saw this name, this player was the reason why 2 different tight end only quarter touchdown props didn't hit. So go.
Yeah, so my fake, my real was a guy who scored 0 points. My fake is a guy who scored 0 points. Mr. Jake Ferguson, he's been cooking all year. Headed into the Week 8, like multiple games, he had 5+ catches or a touchdown, looking like a locked-in tight end 1. But then, boom, crash landing. Like his numbers fell off a cliff, straight dud. 1 target, 0 catches. For a guy who's been a steady tight end 1 option, this is not good, right? But here's the thing. The matchup didn't do him any favors. Denver's been really tough on tight ends all season, and they showed it again this game. Add in the fact that the Cowboys' offense was looking bad, like Dak wasn't in rhythm. The drives just stalled out, and it was just one of those games where like everything just went sideways for the Cowboys. So bottom line, chalk this one up as an outlier. Ferguson's role is still there. The usage will be there, and it's going to be strong. But just expect him to still be a top tight end, play every single week. Because even with the 0, he is still the number 1 tight end in overall points this season. So don't go chasing waterfalls. Jake, you gotta chase a bounce back week incoming.
Hold on. All right, go ahead, Raul.
I'm not sure I can.
Well, he's on mute, so he got put in timeout.
It's like he forgot the second half of what's supposed to come. It just didn't match at all.
That's exactly what happened. I was going to continue it, and I'm like, no, because if I do that, I am just encouraging it and enabling him.
Yeah. I do think this is fake as well. Ferguson has proved it all, not just this year, but in past years with Dak Prescott, who's always heavily targeted as tight end. The one concern I would have is now we're seeing a lineup with CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson, which has not been seen too frequently this year. And I wonder if it's a situation where only 2 of those 3 are going to eat. Both CD and George Pickens had 7 for 70 odd. The week before, I didn't see. I can't remember CD's line, but again, Ferguson had the touchdowns. I'm not too concerned about him long term, but I wonder if his top 5 tight end days might be a little bit harder to come by with both the wide receivers there.
Just stick to the parlays you're used to. Kyle.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but remember on, what was it, Sunday morning?
What?
Everyone had Jake Ferguson as the number 1 tight end, and I said, hell no, you can't play him as the number 1 because of that matchup.
Well, yeah. All right, Jordan. Take it away with your real player of the week.
It's Chuba Hubbard. 9.4 points. His 4th straight single-digit game this year. In the 2 games since injury, he scored around 16.9 total PPR points. He's played over 50% of the snaps. And that's just what he's been bad pretty much all year, except for the first 2 weeks. A touchdown saved them this past week in the blowout loss to the Bills. So without the touchdown, he would have had 3.4 points. The coach has already alluded to, shifting more to Rico Dowdle after these 2 games of experimenting, alternating drives with these 2 guys. So Dowdle has been more effective. He's been much more explosive, all of those things. So it's looking like they're changing and heading towards giving him more work. And so this is all you can hope for, unless Dowdle gets hurt. If he keeps up the way he's been playing, all you can hope for Hubbard is maybe he gets a touchdown to save his day, because he hasn't run the ball well at all. At all this season. And then with Bryce Young being out and hurt and dinged up, they've gotten blown out in a couple games, and they're not running the ball at all. So they're chasing points, throwing the ball. So it's a bad situation for him. I guess you can keep him as like a handcuff, but I don't know if you can start him knowing that he's not going to be in this timeshare, headed towards like a 50-50 timeshare anymore. He's gonna be on the short end of that. So I don't know how valuable that makes him moving forward. But if you are playing him, you can't expect much unless you're hoping for he falls into the end zone, or Dowdle breaks a long run and then gets out the game in the red zone and then he scores.
Yeah, take it away, Earl.
Yeah, Jordan, I think you're absolutely right. And I think you nailed it there with, like, we should be valuing him as nothing more than a handcuff. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but like you pointed out, the coach speak seems to indicate that Rico Dowdle will take the lion's share. Chuba Hubbard is a team captain, and he's been one of like the key pieces for a few years on a team that's lacked, key pieces, playmakers. And Coach Canal has really alluded to that. It's like a little bit more delicate than like a switching of a guard between their RB1 and RB2. Like it probably would have happened already if Chuba Hubbard didn't have this like place that he does in the team. But I think you're absolutely right that Chuba Hubbard is no longer startable. Like really, he's droppable if you might need to you might want to pick up a handcuff on a hotter offense, or a younger player behind an older player, something like that. But certainly should not be anywhere near your lineups. Rico Dowdle, I think, will be at least in every week RB2. I'm certainly not expecting the 200 plus scrimmage yards again, but they do have the Green Bay Packers this week with like a 16.5-point total. So hold your horses a little bit on Rico Dowdle. Could even be a buy low opportunity sometime in this week if people haven't caught on, or next week if they, as expected, stink against the Packers. But I do think it's going to be Rico Dowdle's team moving forward, and Chuba Hubbard, nothing more than a handcuff.
So one thing to add before you go with your fake, he is, and speaking of Dowdle, and I didn't want to bring this up first because I wanted to see if Raul was going to bring it up. He is 5th in rushing in the NFL. JT, obviously, almost 97 yards more than the second. Then James Cook, I was wrong, sorry. J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams, and Rico Dowdle.
Just like we all thought before the season started.
Hey, don't worry. We're going to be talking about another running back in a little bit that we thought was going to do something. Well, why don't you take it away with your fake play?
It feels like I'm picking on the Steelers pass catchers. This is like one of the second or third week I've picked one of their receivers as a fake, and I'm doing it again. This is Roman Wilson. I was interested in him heading into the season. I thought he had a chance to be that wide receiver 2 on this offense with Aaron Rodgers. And he had a good game against the Packers on Sunday night. He only had 5 targets, turned it into 4 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Only played 46% of the snaps, lower than he did last week in the shootout against the Bengals, where Rodgers only threw touchdowns to his tight ends. I just can't trust anybody really in the Steelers offense besides maybe DK Metcalf, because one week it was Freiermuth who was risen from the dead, and then this week it's Roman Wilson. Next week it might be Calvin Austin. Like, who knows? But I wouldn't go I wouldn't go chasing those points in my Jamie voice. But I just don't see it materializing into anything consistent moving forward. Rodgers likes to spread the ball around. He's shown that throughout this season, and I don't see that changing. It was just probably a matchup situation, and they took advantage of it.
So, Jamie, when I was going through the show sheet and went to put the names in, you guys all know that I add all the names in once I see everyone's, what do you call it? This was the first one that got a name put to it. Because I have heard you rant and rave about Roman Wilson since about February before he got drafted. Well, I'm giving you the chance to talk about Roman Wilson because for the last year and a half, you have not.
So let me tell you about Roman Wilson. He's got elite speed, especially for the position he plays. Mm-hmm. He's explosive, and he is a real threat, whether it's going to be in the slot or just on those short routes. But that's the problem, short routes, right? Mm-hmm. We all know Michigan wide receivers take time to develop. We know the talent's there with them, but we've seen it with Nico Collins. We've seen it with Cedric Tillman finally trying to break out. It's going to happen for Roman Wilson eventually, but we won't see it consistently, and he's not going to be putting up points like he did last week or the numbers until he actually sees more playing time. And it might take another year, but I think it's gonna get there eventually, man. That's all I got to say.
All right. I knew you were going to go. I just had to put you on there because I didn't know where you were going to go. I just had to let you go. So, Raul, take it away with your real player of the week.
I do just got to say that Roman Wilson sounds awfully like Roschon Johnson. and I'll leave it there. My real player of the week is the king himself, Derrick Henry, who had a 2-touchdown performance, so only 70 odd rushing yards on the ground, but one would say salvaged his day with 2 touchdowns, but he did score 2 touchdowns and 19.1 points. It's been an up and down season for King Henry. In half PPR, he's only the running back, 16 points per game, 12.8 points. But I think a lot of that really would chalk it down to Lamar Jackson being out, and certainly a lot of pieces on the O-line, but Lamar being out just completely took this team from the top 5 offense that we were projecting to really a bottom 5 offense for most of this spell. It baffles me that Tyler Huntley, who had previously been on the team, was not on the team until the last 2 weeks. They could have got another win and really be even closer to the Steelers. They still have 2 games against the Steelers to come in. I say that to the fact that, even at 2-5, the season is far from over. This division is very much in reach with 2 games left to go against the Steelers, and with Lamar expected to play on Thursday Night Football. I think Henry goes back to being an elite running back. None of his metrics have really dropped off from the previous years. They're a little bit worse on the goal line, but otherwise Henry looks like himself. He is big game script dependent. The team has shown that they will go to Justice Hill in obvious pass situations, passing downs, and in catch-up mode. But I just think with Lamar Jackson back, that situation isn't going to play out nearly as often as it has in this first half of the year. I think Derrick Henry, what he showed in the last week, very much real, and I think he's going to be a strong RB1 moving forward. What do you think about that, Mike?
So I agree with you, but I need to put this back up again because this is great. I mean, this is so great that it's so bad. Kyle says, if ever Roman Wilson ends up catching passes from Jacoby Brissett, no, the worst thing
wide receiver one.
No, the worst thing we can have on the field at once is in some delusion land where it's Roman Wilson at wide receiver, Roshan Johnson at running back, Harold Fannin at tight end, and Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. We would not be allowed to have a show with Jamie.
With Kamani Vidal as the backup to
Yeah, there you go.
And the second wide receiver is Kayshon Boutte.
Boutte rocking everywhere. That's a Super Bowl winning team right there, guys.
Let's get back on track. I will put you back in timeout. Yes, I agree with you. The fact that the Derrick Henry problems, besides the fumbling problems at the beginning of the year, his usage and his yardage and everything, Lamar being gone. I mean, for gosh sakes, we thought Lamar was going to be back this week because he was supposed to be practicing. And then, it's the scout team. That's another subject. But, yes, I do think he is going to be an RB1. There's not a lot more to add. You pretty much added everything I needed to, except I do think they're going to have another on the offense at least. I don't know about the defense. They're going to have a resurgence in the second half of the season. I don't think they're going to be able to turn it around to actually go far, but they're going to ruin other people's seasons towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I hear you there, but honestly, Ravens to win the division, I don't think is too crazy of a bet to make, just because they have those 2 head-to-head against the Steelers. Yeah, but we're on the same page there, Mike. So my fake player is going to be Baker Mayfield. He's coming off 2 back-to-back dud games, 12.1 against the Lions and then 4.1 against the Saints. But this was just a weird game, and it's sometimes you're well, let's say blessed. But in the afternoon slate with only a few games that you see a lot of these games that you never want to watch, and it really was that kind of weird game with defensive touchdowns, a ton of turnovers, short fields. There was an insane sequence where the Bucs ran 8 straight plays from the one, of course, on 2 different series. The first series, 4 runs from the 1-yard line, 3 for Rashad White, 1 for Sean Tucker, got denied. Came back the next drive, down to the 1. Should have been a Cade Otton touchdown. Would certainly ruined many national tight end day parlay. But back to the 1. 3 downs, again held up by the Saints. And I think it was eventually Sean Tucker that banged it in from the 1-yard line. It was just one of those strange games, and I think even the commentators talking about this. The Bucks knew they could kind of just play ball control and get a crucial division win. So Baker wasn't really needing to throw. Ibuka, of course, like I'm honestly surprised he played the last 2 games, but he's been banged up. Mike Evans out. They go into the bye, so hopefully they'll have Bucky Irving and potentially even Jalen McMillan coming back. But I think Baker Mayfield's right back into mid-range QB1, and I think you can chalk up these last 2 games and certainly this last one against the Saints up to just the weirdness that we deal with in the NFL on a weekly basis.
Jordan.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Baker is struggling right now. Just going through dealing with injuries to a lot of the weapons. There's only so much you can go to. Like he was balling when the guys first got hurt, but it's only so long you can go without your guys. And they have a bye, so that gives Bucky a chance to get healthy. But the defenses they have in the next 3 weeks after the bye are pretty tough. The Patriots defense has been sacking the quarterback at a high clip. They've been playing decent. The Bills, and then they have the Rams. So that's a tough 3-game stretch. Hopefully, Ibuka can get over this injury hump that he's been dealing with, and Bucky Irving is going to be back. And if he has those 2 weapons at full strength, I think you'll see a more effective Baker, but it'll be a tough test against these next 3 defenses. But after that, it gets easier. Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and Dolphins. So he's going to look to close the season strong if those guys can stay healthy. But I'm not running away from Baker. He's shown me that he can ball with few weapons. Last year, Cade Otton was a stud, like in the time that Godwin and Mike Evans was out. He's throwing to Tej Johnson this year. Like he does it. So I'm not fading him. I think he's gonna bounce back. But it'll be a tough 3-game stretch right after bye.
Yeah. Good point on the defenses. Although in shootouts, right? The Lions game was weird. The Lions game was very weird. I expected a lot more from everyone involved on both sides. I think this one, playing with the lead, didn't really need to throw, but good point there, Jordan.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys had to say on that. Partially because one of you guys didn't speak. All right, so it is time for my real player of the week. And yes, my real player of the week was RB34 on the week, baby. And that is Mr. Tony Pollard. And yes, Jordan, Tony Pollard was the second player I filled in. So Tony Pollard has 5.8 points this week. That's not good, but here is why I say that is real. So Tajay Spears was out from week 1 to week 4. Then he came back in week 5. It was his get-right game. He had 26 26.2% of the snaps, and Tony Pollard had 72.3. After that, here is Tony Pollard, 6, 7, and 8. 42, 58, 47. Here's Tajay, 59, 41, 50. So yes, in 7, Tony Pollard had more than Tajay, but that was the New England game.
Wait, hold on, Mike. Real quick, what week was that? 6, 7. 6, 7.
I was just about to get on the YouTube to put that in a comment, bro. Mike just blew right past it. I was trying to get a little bit of this, but he's gone now. But
all right, you're back now because of my joke. Because I wanted to be a smartass, I got to freaking reconfigure everything. Thanks, Jamie.
Anytime.
Okay, back to it. Here's the thing. So in those weeks combined, I have the stats I'm reading now are 6 to 8 only. I'm not saying that other number, but they're straight through. Okay, those 3 weeks. Snap share total: Tajay 50.8, Tony Pollard 49.2. Rushing attempts: 36.5 for Tajay, 51.8 for Tony Pollard. Route percentage: 42.1 for Tajay, 32 for Pollard, 11 targets for Tajay, 10 for Tony. Here's the thing. 26.9, and this is in PPR, I believe, yeah. 29.6 expected and 26.6 expected between those 3 weeks, 29 being for Tajay. Now let me come back on camera to say my final point. The reason I say it's real is I think this says more about Tajay than Tony. We believe this show put a stamp of approval on this man's name for 2 years. We took the stamp away, and Tennessee is taking the stamp away because by 3 or 4 more weeks, this is, especially with Brian Callahan being let go, this is going to be the Tajay show. Jordan.
I'm sick of this dude, man.
Yeah.
I really am, bro. Like, the first 4 weeks was supposed to be his chance to solidify, him as the guy. Didn't happen. Now the offense stinks, obviously, as we know. Coaching stunk, so maybe that played a role in it. But like, they're getting blown out, so now they're throwing it, and Tajay is the better receiving back. So he's playing more just off of that. He broke a long run for a touchdown in the garbage time this past week. So Tajay's looked more explosive. I'm just sick of this dude, man. Like, I have nothing else to say. It's over with. Like, I hope it's the Tajay show because I'm just sick of him running into somebody else's butt or like getting 3 yards or whatever. So
this is I don't know how many times I've been putting up the hand going, this guy's going to do something.
He didn't shine in Dallas, and then Rico Dotto had 1,000 yards the year.
And now Javonte's going off and he's the number 4 rusher.
Yeah, man, I'm sick of this dude. Maybe that broken leg messed him up for good. I don't know, but because he was explosive before that.
Yeah. All right, so I didn't think this would all revolve around Javonte Williams, but this does. Because Rico Dowdle used to play for who? The Dallas Cowboys. Who's doing good for the Dallas Cowboys? Javonte Williams. What did Javonte Williams suck at? And I wanted Javonte to do good for 3 years, and I finally gave up on him. Denver. Why do I bring up Denver? Because my fake player of the week is the number 6 running back this week in half-point PPR, R.J. Harvey. Yes, he did good for my one league. I love it. I love the fact that he did good for my team. But he had 3 touchdowns. That's why he had freaking 23.6 points in half-point PPR. He's not going to be able to do this. J.K. Dobbins had 13.1 points. He had 23.6. To me, it's self-explanatory. Look who they played. They played the Dallas Cowboys. Like Jamie said, it was matchup here, matchup there. Yeah, when you're playing one of the weakest defenses, you want to know who you want to start every week? Whoever's playing the Dallas Cowboys at every position, just plug them in and you're going to get an okay score. So that's really all I need to say there. Jamie, I know you want to talk.
Yeah, so I wasn't a huge fan of Harvey, but
I know.
I did grow on him in the offseason with the draft capital and everything. But this could be a glimpse of what Harvey is going to be for the future. Like, the dude, he is fast. He's quick. He's got the skill. He runs routes very well, and he's a legitimate pass-catching threat. So, and then when you look at the other side, Dobbins has a history of lower body injury, which could limit him down the stretch. Plus, the rest of the season, I looked at the schedule. It's not pretty for Denver running backs going forward. And this could be the downfall of Dobbins going forward this year and the uprising of R.J. Harvey with his pass-catching skills, because we might see Harvey get more work in that pass attack going forward, and they could bring in that fresh pair of legs, and he could get some more rushes.
So I agree with you for the future, but I'm talking, next year maybe. But here's the thing, and we've said it over and over, so we don't need to have a full-on panel discussion about it. Part of the problem is I don't trust one person. And he used to reside in the city, or he used to reside in the lovely state of Jordan. And that is Sean Payton. And until Sean Payton can, for one in a full year, use the same running back, not named Alvin Kamara, I won't believe it. Well, we are done talking about running backs, and we are done talking about Alvin Kamara because he doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, that's something we should have brought up there. Tyler Sugg is a starter. But let's get straight into the host topic, and it's Jamie's matchup mania. And Jamie, you want to talk about wide receivers?
Yeah. So I was looking at some of the top matchups against like the top 5 defenses that allow the most points to wide receivers. And here's some of the wide receivers you don't want to miss out on this week. First, I want to talk Marvin Harrison Jr. It's the golden matchup, Week 9 versus the Dallas Cowboys. The worst team in the league against wide receivers. The Cowboys are giving up 28.5 PPR points to the outside wide receiver and have already allowed 15 touchdowns to wide receiver / tight end position. So right now they're coming off of a bye. Fire up Marvin Harrison Jr. as like a strong wide receiver 2. His talent plus the dumpster fire secondary outweighs any target risk. Give him 5+ catches. Maybe he can get 6, 7, but 70+ yards. I can see that happening, and I'm going to lock in a touchdown for him. Next, Steelers versus Colts. This is great on both sides of the ball. You got Metcalf and Roman Wilson we just talked about, but DK Metcalf is the guy. He's going to have a bounce back week 9. The Colts, they're coming out. Let's see. The Steelers are coming off of the loss. Aaron Rodgers is likely going to need to play catch up, right? So expect more air volume.
Mustard?
Indy's secondary has struggled versus those deep threat guys. So that's a perfect matchup for Metcalf. He scored, I think, 5 touchdowns. Am I saying that right? I think he had 5 touchdowns in the 8 games, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so anyway, but he's getting like 35% of the team's air yards, and that jumps up to 40% when they're trailing. So I'm calling it right now. He's going to get at least 5 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. So give him a boom week too. We talked about Roman Wilson earlier. Yeah, I'm not really comfortable starting him, but if Austin is out again, I can see him getting 4 to 5 catches, maybe 40, 50 yards. Deeper sleeper guy. But then you got, let's see, the Colts versus Steelers. Steelers are allowing 79% of their wide receiver points to the outside receivers. That's Pittman and Pierce. They're going to feast this week. Downs in the slot. I think you could sit them. They're only allowing less than 10 points to the slot receiver. And then here's the guy I wanted to bring up because I know Mike has him in a league that's very special to him. But Brian Thomas Jr. He's coming off of the bye, right? He's going to be healthier after that shoulder issue he's been dealing with. He's still playing 99.5% of the snaps with like 8+ targets a game, and Vegas is giving up 28+ points to the outside wide receiver. So that's right in Brian Thomas Jr.'s zone. Travis Hunter, I think you could play him. He's playing 40% of the snaps in the slot, and he's getting at least 80% plus the past couple weeks on offense. So I think he can get at least 17 points, and that's the average of what Vegas has given up in the slot. So both wide receivers can have a good game. I would call them wide receiver 2s, but you're playing them as a wide receiver 3 or flex. So there's definitely room for upside there for all of them. So lock them in, fire them up. just watch those points pile up.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you about the Brian Thomas situation because I need him to do something in the league that you brought up that means a lot to me. So let me make sure that I set this up right. I am looking way across the distance, and I see something through that crystal ball. What is it, Jordan?
I'm taking some low hanging fruit here, and I'm gonna go with.
As long as you say it.
I'm gonna go with a stud quarterback coming back from an injury, get back on track, and that's the Ravens going into Thursday night, dominating the Dolphins defense. Like Raul brought up with Derrick Henry, he started to kind of get back on track this past week. 2 touchdowns. All they needed was competent quarterback play for him to do that. You get Lamar back, albeit he may be rusty, but his presence just makes everything easier for everyone else. And I think Derrick Henry is no exception. I really feel like, and Lamar's from the Florida, Miami area, I believe, or something like that. They're going to steamroll the Dolphins, running straight over them. And I see Derrick Henry having a huge day and Lamar kind of just conducting everything.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Any quick thoughts on that one, Raul, before you go into yours? Well, I got to set you up, but before you go into yours.
Man, I just got to say that, my whole segment premise has been picking whoever's playing the Dolphins, and Jordan is taking a leaf out of my book there.
All right. So it is time for Boom or Doom. What is booming tonight?
Boom or Doom, week 9. And one quick anecdote. I should have just jammed it in the last comment, but last week I said the elite RB1s are going to boom, and I named Bijan versus the Dolphins and JT versus the Titans. And I had this one redraft matchup that I lost by 5.5 points because
I hope he had Bijan.
I had Bijan, and the ops had Jonathan Taylor, and I lost by 5.5. So, can we even give a half credit there? That's still a failing grade, but let's get back into it. A boom this week. I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams. Chicago Bears taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's another bit of low-hanging fruit after we saw the New York Jets put up 39 points, 39 points, I believe, on the Bengals. And I think Caleb Williams is absolutely going to bounce back. It's been a couple of weird weeks. We talked last week about Rome Odunze, who, the only receiver over 100 receiving yards in week 8, but I think Caleb is honestly not playing as bad as the box score might seem. He should have had a touchdown to DJ Moore right at the end of the game if DJ, kind of read where the gap in the zone was in the end zone. Couple of bad throws, bad interception, but I think Ben Johnson came out and said, like, hey, I actually think this was Caleb's best game of the recent couple of weeks since they came out of the bye. I think they're going to try and get Caleb a few scores under his belt. And I think that's important because the Chicago Bears are actually 12th in red zone drives, but only 26th in the league in converting those drives into touchdowns. We've seen Cairo Santos and previously Jake Moody, rack up big kicking scores, and not the touchdowns that we kind of need. But I think this week, Caleb Williams is going to come in with 3 passing touchdown performance. He shows he can get you some points with his legs too, and I think he's going to have a QB1 week in week 9.
How many rushes do you think he can get? I'm thinking 6, 7.
Mike, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, I do actually.
I guess our doom of the week is Jamie Perreault for the 6-7, but we'll actually go with Broncos wide receiver Courtland Sutton. Big Broncos day for the boys here, but it's coming on a tough matchup against the Houston Texans, who really shut out the 49ers. They shut down Christian McCaffrey, which no one has been able to do volume-wise, yardage-wise, if not necessarily efficiency-wise. So the Houston Texans, absolutely legit defense, very tough on pass catchers, and I think the Broncos both show they have no problem spraying the ball out, and now show they have a multitude of weapons that they can use in high leverage situations. Troy Franklin with wide receiver 1 performance, RJ Harvey we talked about, 3 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins is still a very solid back, and I think they're gonna move away from Courtland Sutton in this matchup to beat the Texans. So I'm fading Courtland Sutton a bit in Week 9.
All right, Jamie, do you have any quick thoughts about Courtland Sutton?
I mean, I don't know how you can sit him, even if you think he's going to do him. But I want to answer this Kyle's question.
Hold on, I'm bringing it up right now. What's wrong with numbers?
Yeah, Mike, what's wrong with 6, 7?
Okay, can I? Okay, I need to say one thing about this, Jamie. You're hanging out with your kids too much, and I can't believe I'm saying that because you need to be hanging out with your kids. But no, that's not cool. All right. So we're done with Boom or Doom. All right. Guess what time it is?
Grab your popcorn, hide your hot takes.
Why the heck am I ranting about Sean McVay?
Oh, different Sean.
Not because Sean McVay himself, but Sean McVay's coaching tree is on my shit list. And you brought part of the reason up in your take, in your Boomer Doom, Rahul. And I got 2 Sean McVay coaches to gripe about. So since you just brought one up, we might as well start with him first. Mr. Taylor, Cincinnati Bengals head coach. You were up by 15 points in the fourth quarter. You let the other team score 23. And you, in the fourth quarter alone, and you lose the game 39-36. If I would have said that, how many teams are there in the NFL right now? 32? The Jets probably would have been the 32nd guess. Okay? It wouldn't have been the first. It wouldn't have been the second. It sure wouldn't have been my 15th guess. And if you would have told me that there was a person that passed a touchdown to tie the game up, I would have said Justin Fields. I would have said Tyrod Taylor with a punctured lung. I would have said Garrett Wilson. I wouldn't have said Breece freaking Hall. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Breece Hall, I appreciate it. I have you in a league that I needed that. However, 500 yards total offense for the New York Jets. I understand they needed the win. Aaron Glenn needed the win. For gosh sakes, Justin Fields needed to get it to stop seeing the ghost from his closet because he admitted after the game that he was crying in his closet the day before that week. Okay, so yes. Yeah, that actually happened, Jordan.
Well, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. He said he was crying in the closet. You know, probably listening to a little bit of Eminem. But this team has issues more than we know. But what team might have more issues? The Cincinnati Bengals. And is Zach Taylor part of the problem? I don't know, because yes, I do understand that Joe Burrow's out. I do understand there's injuries. You go and fire your defensive coordinator last year. You re-signed Hendrickson, which you needed to. Then look at the garbage. You know I love saying it, Jordan. Look at the dumpster fire that this defense is. Does anyone know where their their defensive coordinator from last year is currently?
The Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything wrong with that defense right now, Jordan?
No, they're actually really good considering they don't have a lot of really, really good personnel.
So does it seem like it's the players' fault or maybe the coaching?
All right.
Zach Taylor, you're the freaking problem. Now, second, let's go a little further west and north to the land of many lakes. Kevin O'Connell, do you want to see Carson Wentz get hurt? He's out with the shoulder injury for the rest of the season. And you let freaking dogs on freaking raw meat at the last third and fourth quarter. Your offensive line is injured. Carson Wentz kept getting hurt. This team is not as good as I thought they were going to be. They're losing games they shouldn't. They're not in games they shouldn't. The last text message that I got from this guy right next to me, Mr. Jamie Perogue, on Thursday night, Jamie? Was, hey, I'm going to bed. I hope I wake up in the morning and see Jordan Mason with more than one rushing yard. Well, you got two more.
He did get two more.
So I hope you're happy because you manifested it, saying, I hope I get one more, or get more yards than one. That's your fault. Not really. But they didn't use this right. This team, I got a coworker. He's done. He's ready to throw the hat in because now, guess who you're going to be starting at quarterback again? J.J. McCarthy. Sean McVay, you need to teach your coaches to do better, sir. There's the rant.
Yeah.
Jordan, take it away. I know you want to say something.
Yeah. The Vikings disappointment, the Bengals disappointment. Brees Hall's throw was terrible, by the way. Like like it was successful because Mason Taylor just basically little son that dude, but it was a terrible throw. And when that happens for you to lose the game, you got to look in the mirror. But yeah,
I'm putting that away before someone gets the reference. I got the reference, Kyle.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into your guys' side job. If I can hit it right. All right. Let's go support our sponsors. We're going to put the key on this one. Go to Underdog if you're a new user. Use promo code GF2 and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. In the offseason, they got the puppy, the Chihuahua. They got tournaments up the yazoo. And starting February 17th, I think Jamie starts drafting. So 94.22% chance that you're in a draft with Jamie. They got hires and lowers on, pick'ems on every major sport, boxing, basketball, baseball, hockey. I mean, it's the sports equinox yesterday. You got every sport going. And don't forget, World Cup next year. Let's go. GF2 in capitals, and you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. All right. It is time for what we like to call around here in the fantasy cheat sheet streets, the cheat of the week. Jamie, what is your waiver wire ad of week 9?
So you're probably going to need a tight end. This guy's less than 40% owned. That's Juwan Johnson. He's heating up again, back-to-back double-digit games. Last week, 5 of 58 on 8 targets versus Tampa Bay. Then the past 2 weeks, he's seen 15 total targets. And every game this year with 7 or more looks, he's hit at least 10 fantasy points. So heading into week 9 versus the Rams, I could see him as like a solid low-end tight end 1 play. He is worth a pickup if you need help at tight end because the Rams do allow, on average, I think 12 points to the tight end. So some points are better than no points.
That is for sure. Jordan, take it away with your week 9 waiver, bud.
This guy is probably going to be the last time you get to use him, pending, injury, pending Trey Benson's health overall. But Bam Knight, it has that juicy matchup against Dallas. You got to take advantage of it. Whether Kyler's the quarterback or the legend Jacoby Brissett, pick up Bam because he's going to be. They had cut Michael Carter, but I think they re-signed him or something like that.
Mhm.
So just procedural, but he has taken over the backfield anyway, get majority of the work. So pick him up if you need him. You can start him this week, and then most likely it'll be the last time you start him. But if you need someone for this week, pick him up in a good matchup against Dallas.
All right, before I throw it over to Raul, please don't ever do that again.
Oh, legend.
Legend and Brissett in the same sentence. And someone didn't even catch it. Raul, take it away, my man.
Yeah, I've got a deep cut. It's someone who is on bye in week 9, but that's how you can maybe even push him past waivers and take a look towards the end of the week and get him for free. That's Tank Bigsby. Very quiet 100-yard rushing game against the New York Giants and legitimately looked good running the ball. I think he highlighted that he is the clear RB2 in Philly. Saquon did exit that game with a groin injury. Now, he should be fine. I think he even said he would have come back if the game was close, and they have a bye. But, this is a time of year that we're really looking for those high upside bets like Tank Bigsby. Like the Eagles handcuff running back, I should say. And I think we have the answer that it is Tank Bigsby. Where very strange the capital they gave up to then just use him as a kick returner. Now they finally got him going. AJ Dillon been fumbling. Will Shipley not looked like the player that I certainly hoped he would be, dealing with some injuries. I think Tank Bigsby has that role. And if Saquon were to go down, miss some games, I think he's a lineup lock, really, with the upside on that offense behind that offensive line. So try and seek a little bit of Tank Bigsby onto your team.
So I like your take, but I don't like your take. And Jamie will understand why I don't. And that's purely because your take on Will Shipley is 100% correct, but 100% hurts the heart. Yep. It just hurts the soul. Jamie remembers when he was a rookie and me talking about him. Like, it just hurts the soul. All right. It's been a great show. Right at the hour and 12-minute mark. My Dodgers are not doing too hot. Kyle, your country's only baseball team is kicking my teams. But let's throw it around the horn. Raul, take it away.
Yeah, great show, guys. Like I said at the top, a little bit more optimistic for week 9. It certainly can't be as bad as it's been for yours truly in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for a great show, and thank you to the viewers for sticking with us. I'm looking forward to next week.
Check us out every Tuesday. Bring your trade questions, lineup questions, all of that, and then save some for the Sunday show as well. But yeah, get your waiver claims in tonight. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah, it was a blast breaking down all this. I think we actually hit all the angles from 6 to 7. So don't miss the next one.
I knew he was trying to find a way to do that.
I was like, where's he going? Like, how's he going to pull this in? And
Mike glitched out. He had it out.
I pulled it in, and I was not happy about it.